Hello, my name is Edward Houston with Zepp. Today we are going to be showing how to assemble an LC foam cannon and how to hang it on the wall. We are also going to be showing the tools needed and the parts needed to assemble the LC foam cannon. Here we have the LC foam cannon already unboxed. Before we begin, we want to make sure we check and confirm our water pressure of a minimum of 40 psi consistently. Once we confirm that, we can begin to assemble and install the LC foam cannon. LC foam cannon itself. We have the water intake with the water gauge. We have the air intake with the air gauge. We have the instructions and the metering tips. We have a 3/4 inch discharge hose, 50 foot long. We have the ball valve, and we have the pickup tube with the water check valve. Here are the tools necessary to assemble the LC foam cannon. First, safety gear required for the task at hand. Water gauge, razor blade or pocket knife, hose cutter, flathead screwdriver, 2 crescent wrenches, pair of channel locks, and dual force 45 lubricant. Here we have additional parts required to assemble the LC foam cannon. We have 5/8 garden hose, appropriate length. We have our 3/8 hex nipple. We have our 1/2 inch 3/8 hex bushing. We have our 3/4 to 1/2 inch adapter. We have our 5/8 barb 3/4 inch MIP thread adapter. We have another adapter, 5/8 barb, 3/4 inch MIP. We have our Teflon threaded tape. We have our female hose adapter with 5/8 barb. We have our male hose adapter with 5/8 barb. We have our hose clamps. We have our pipe dope. We have our backflow valve. Here we have our 1/4 inch air chuck. These additional parts are recommended. Your hose Y, on one side, it will be our water source for the LC foam cannon. The other side would be for the customer's hose for their water source. Here we have a 1/2 inch coupling threaded. And here we have an 18 inch long 1/2 inch thread extender to help ensure a further reach for the LC foam cannon. We are now ready to initially assemble the LC foam cannon. We are going to attach our hex nipple, our hex bushing, and our adapter together, and then we will attach it to the water side of the LC foam cannon. So to do this, we're going to use our crescent wrenches and our threaded tape. Oh, we're going to put our tape on our threads. On both sides. We'll screw the nipple into the hex bushing. Then we'll tighten it up. Now we'll thread the hex bushing. Screw it into the adapter. Then we'll tighten this up as well. Now we're going to take and assemble it, screw it into the water side. Take our crescent wrench. Tighten it up. Just like that. Now we'll take our air chuck. We're going to screw it into the air regulator. Take a wrench and screw it in. Tighten her up. Now we're ready to hang it on the wall, and then we'll attach the hoses, the pickup tube as well. Okay, now we are ready to complete the assembly and hanging up the LC foam cannon as we have here. Now let's go over some of the parts again and tools that are going to be required in this part. Again, 5/8 hose. We recommend this hose, Continental. It's a sturdy hose, heavy duty hose, where it will not collapse when utilizing the LC foam cannon. Now, when you are utilizing this hose, you can utilize this female fitting here to hook onto your hose bib, your hose faucet, and then roll this out according to the length that you need to hook it up to the LC foam cannon that we're about to hang on the wall. Now, the drills. If you are hanging on a block wall, concrete wall, or a wood wall, you're going to need a drill and a drill bit. If you're hanging on a block or concrete wall, you are going to need to use tap cons. So you drill into the block wall, pre-drilling it, and then use their tap cons to hang the LC foam cannon. If you're hanging on a wooden wall, you want to pre-drill your holes with a drill bit that's appropriate size and use the wood screws to hang the LC foam cannon. If you are going to hang the LC foam cannon on an aluminum siding, you want to use a impact drill with the appropriate bit according to whatever screws you're using. Here, this is a PVC board, and we'll be utilizing this impact drill with our screws here. So, for convenience, we have already marked our holes here, as you see. So what I'm going to do is hang it up just for demonstration purposes. gonna get a level, and we're gonna make sure it's level. You see that it's level. Then you're gonna mark your holes with a marker or a pen. Then you take it down, and then you're gonna screw your screws in. Do not screw them in all the way, because the LC foam cannon has the openings where you can slide the equipment on the wall. If I can hold this screw, here we go. Now, I'm just going to hang it on the wall for demonstration purposes, and I'm going to take it off. So here, we have it hung. I did not tighten it yet. I'm looking at it. We're level. We're good to go. So, out in the field, I would leave this on the wall, and I would go ahead and hook up the 3/4 inch hose that I'm about to pull up on the table here. Since this is for demonstration purposes, I'm going to take it off, put it on the table, because I have to exert force and able to hook it up to the nipple on the LC foam cannon. But again, out in the field, I would leave it on the wall and go ahead and put the hose on the LC foam cannon. First, I'm going to take the hose clamp. I'm going to put the hose clamp on before I put the hose on. I'm going to take dual force 45. I'm going to spray it on there just like that. Spray it in. Help lubricate it. Spray a little bit there. Try not to get it on the hose because it's going to make it slippery. So now you're going to have to exert force upward, twisting and pushing at the same time. Okay, so that's on. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tighten down my hose clamp. Okay. While I have it on the table, here's our instructions, and here is our metering tips. Now, if you open up the instructions, you're going to see there's going to be a chart on the inside. I know you can't read it, I'm just pointing out where it is. Here is the colors of the tips and the dilution rate that you're wanting. So say we want a 26:1 ratio. That would be a yellow-green. Dig in here. Take the tool out, which I'll tell you about in a moment. And get your yellow-green metering tip. Set that aside. Here's another chart. It has colors. So you can match your color according to this sheet with the color on this diagram. Here we have the yellow-green. So you match it up, yellow-green, you're good to go. This tool is plastic. It has a hex head in there, like a socket. You're going to insert your metering tip, the hex head part of it, inside the tool. The other end of the meter tip is threaded. Again, this is plastic. So when you're inserting it, you're going to insert it here into the metering nipple. You're just going to screw it in, just like this. You're not going to get it tight. You're just going to snug it. Just snug it. That's all you need to do. If you bear down on it, over tighten it, it's going to strip the threads because again, it is plastic. I'm going to put that aside for now. What I'm also going to do is get our pickup tube. Here's our pickup tube with our check valve here at the end. This keeps the solution from draining out of the pickup tube once you start using it. When you turn it off, the chemical will stay in the pickup tube. You're going to insert it just like that. Now, we're going to close it. And I'm going to bring this over here. I'm going to hook it up on the screws. Move the hose out of the way. Going to go ahead and tighten it up. Okay, now you have it tight. Now your pickup tube is coming down here, so your 55-gallon drum is going to be sitting underneath, or your tote, your 275-gallon, going to be sitting underneath, and your pickup tube is going to drop into the 55-gallon or the tote. Now, what we're going to do is take the other end of the discharge hose. And so what we'll do is going to screw this on. So, this is the ball valve. You're going to turn this on. Your water source here, you're going to turn this on and the solution will start coming out. Now it's ready for our water supply. Okay, now we are ready to assemble our water source. Now, again, your 5/8 hose. If you have the female end, you can screw this onto your water source, your water bib, your water faucet, and reel it out to the appropriate length that you need. So you can hook the other end to the LC foam cannon. For convenience purposes, we've done a couple of things already. One, we're going to use a shorter hose for our water source. Two, our backflow preventer. This backflow preventer prevents the chemical from flowing back into your water line. There is an arrow on here that points the flow of the water. So the arrow is pointing this way. So this will be facing this way with the arrow this way when we are finished. And we'll show you that. What I like to do is take my female water bib adapter with my 5/8 barb, and I go ahead and screw it on top. I make sure that the seal is in there, the rubber gasket. If you do not have that rubber gasket in there, it will leak. And I tighten it down. It's a lot easier to do it without the hose on. So then I'm gonna measure the length of the hose. In that, I mean, I don't want it kinked like this. So I want to make sure there's a nice curve to it so the water's not kinked. And then I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna see, okay, I'm gonna put my backflow preventer in the middle of the LC foam cannon, in the middle of the dispenser unit. So I'm gonna take my finger and mark it right there with my thumb. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut it like this. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my hose clamps. I will insert them on the hose here and on the other side. Our backflow preventer, our arrow's pointing this way. So I'm gonna spray Dual Force 45 lubricant so it'll be easier to get on the bar valve. Got my screwdriver handy. There we go. I'm going to screw down there. Insert the other side. Tighten the clamp on the barb. You want to make sure these are tight so there's no leaks. Now, I will take my other ball clamp and I am going to insert it here. Now, I'm also going to take Dual Force 45. Spray both the hose and the barb. Come down like that. Go ahead and tighten it down, the clamp. Now what you'll do is one hole clamp your hose to your surface with the one hole hose clamps, depending on your situation on where you're gonna actually attach it to the surface, and you're gonna keep it steady just like this. Now, the other end, depending on whether you used this fitting here, the female fitting, or not, if you need to add a female fitting, you put your hose clamp on first, and then you insert, first you spray your lubricant, and then insert your female fitting so you can bring it to the water source. So that concludes our the installation and putting together the LC foam cannon. Oh, by the way, forgot, your air hose. Here is your air hose. If we remember, this is the air chuck. So the air hose at the facility is gonna, the other end of the air hose has a chuck on it. It will be chucked into your unit here. That concludes the assembly and hanging of the LC foam cannon. Okay, now that we have the LC foam cannon hung on the wall, we have our water source, we have our air source, we're telling you that the air hose from the facility is already chucked to our unit. Now, here is the water ball valve. This is off. Perpendicular is on. When it's up and down, the water source is on. Here's the air line. When it's up and down, the air is flowing through. Here is your air adjuster. You pull it out, as I just did, and you turn it to the left or to the right. Again, you've already concluded that you have at least 40 psi of water pressure. Let's say you have 50 psi of water pressure consistently, which is good. What you're wanting to do is you're going to start your air pressure at 5 psi below your water pressure. So you're going to set, in this example, you're going to set your air pressure to 45. And your water pressure is going to be at 50, as we just stated. Now what you're going to do is you're going to turn your water on. Your chemical is going to flow through your pickup tube. You're going to turn your ball valve on, and you're going to allow it to fill it, the foam, the solution, the foam is going to fill the 3/4 inch hose. It'll take about a minute or two. It's going to start foaming. Then you want to adjust your air pressure from 45 psi, no more than 5 psi above 50, which would be 55. You adjust it about a quarter of a turn at a time to get the foam consistency that you want. And then once you get that, you push it back in, the air regulator knob, you push it back in and it locks it in. Now you're good to go. You got the foam consistency you want, you got the water on, and you're good to go. When you're done, turn your ball valve off, turn your air off, and you can turn your water ball valve off if you want. If not, you can leave it on. So that is adjusting your LC foam cannon